Hello everyone, in this video we will going to see how to implement a webhook in Node.js using Express framework. So in the part 1 of this video, I mentioned guys, those who have been familiar with the Node.js, I suggested one playlist, right? So you can go to playlist and you can see API in Node.js using Express framework, right? So now I am taking an assumption you have already watched this video and get some understanding about the Node.js. For now, I am going to the desktop and create one folder for the project location. New folder. I am going to name it as webhook in Node.js. I just hit enter and arrange here. So now I am going to open the VS Code. VS Code is a light IDE. So now I click this open and open the folder which I created before. I just make this one as full screen and I close this getting started. So now I am going to open the terminal in the project location. So I click new terminal. So I just clear this one. So and make sure you are in the correct project location. So before going to the implementation, I am going to tell a small introduction. In the WhatsApp webhook documentation, WhatsApp team suggested to use the code sample in the documentation. But here I am going to implement the webhook from the scratch. Then you guys get a clear understanding about the webhook. First, we will going to start the Node.js project. So in order to start the Node.js project, we have to type npm init. So I just hit enter. So you can see it asking the package name, right? So if I hit enter, then that will make this package name, right? Our folder name as a package name. So I just hit enter and the version is 1.0.0. I just hit enter. The description I am going to give webhook in Node.js using Express framework, right? Dash WhatsApp Cloud API. I just hit enter. This is the description. You can give whatever you want, or you can just ignore this one. So the entry point. So I am going to keep the entry point as index.js. So I just hit enter. So after the test command, I don't need to add any test command. Hit enter and git repository. In future, I will going to add the git, but now I don't want to add any git. So keywords, I hit enter. Other, I am going to type my name. So guys, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please make sure to subscribe because this is the only motivation you are giving me to make the next video. So the license, I am going to keep the license as it is. So ISC and this is okay. Then I hit enter. Okay, you can see in the left side, I am getting one JSON, right? So you may guys wonder, sometimes you may guys get a different icon, right? So nothing else actually. In the extension, I installed a specific extension. So that's why I'm getting a different kind of icons, right? So I just open this one. You guys see the information which I provided here that will appear in here, right? So the description, name and all the things, right? So here I'm going to clear this one. So here I am going to use the Express framework, right? So in order to use the Express framework, we have to install the Express dependency, right? So now I am going to the Google and click the new tab and search Express npm. I just hit enter and you can see the first link, right? I just click this one. If you are new and you have any doubts about the Express framework, you can read here, right? So I just want to install this one. I just click copy here. Okay, this is copied, right? So I'm going to that project and I just paste this one and just hit enter. So this is the framework we will going to use to develop the Node.js application, right? So you can see after it's getting installed, there are one entries created, right? That's called dependency. Inside the entry, there are one object called Express, right? And then Express version, right? So you can see the Express version, the latest version is 4.1.8, right? Like this one, right? That's fine. Now I am going to install the another dependency that's called body parser. Just search body parser and I just click this one. So in order to work with the request, we need this one, right? So body parser, I mean for our requirement, this is needed. I just copy this one and again go here and paste it here and hit enter. So it's installed successfully. You guys see the body parser also inserted, right? So as of now, everything is fine. So in the main one is a index.js, but we haven't created that index.js file, right? So in order to create that one, so what I'm going to do is I just click here, new file, and I'm going to give the name, this one, right? Index.js, I just hit enter. Now our index.js file is created. So now what I'm going to do is the libraries which I have installed previously, right? So first I'm going to here and I'm going to type constraint const express. I'm going to name it as express equal require, right? So here we have to provide the our dependency name, right? So I this is a express, so I come back here and paste it express, right? That's fine. And after that I'm going to insert the body parser, right? So I'm going to create one variable. So as usual, I'm going to the package.json and I copy this one and come back this file and paste it here. That's fine. So after that, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the app from the express, right? So I just const app and I'm calling the express. So after I'm calling the express and I'm going to call the juice, and here I'm passing this body parser. So I just copy this body parser and body parser, then .json, right? So JSON like this, right? Now it's fine. So now we have to assign one port number to listen the webhook, right? So app dot listen. So app is the one which I created before, right? From using the express. So listen. Then here I'm going to pass the port number. So I'm going to pass the port number as 8080 or 8000. Everything is fine, right? So I just keep that 8000. So after that, you guys see. So the second parameter, the function. So I'm going to implement one function. Here I am going to type one console log webhook is listening, right? So now what I am going to do is I am going to serve this one and make sure I already select the auto serve. So every time I need a change, I don't need to serve again and again, right? So I just, and here I just clear this one. So now I am going to run our app, right? So in order to start the app, not index.js, I just hit enter. You guys see webhook is listening, right? So we are getting this log message. So now we are going to the port number 8000, right? So I just go here and open the tab and type localhost and 8000. So you guys see it's showing the message as cannot get, right? Because when we are using our browser and type it, that's a get request, right? But we haven't typed anything for the get request, right? We just writing the console, right? That's fine. Everything is working fine. So now what I am going to do is, so now I am going to the cloud API documentation. Now here I am type cloud API what's up, and I just click this first link. So after I click the first link, you guys see this is the cloud API, right? So I just click the cloud API, and after that you guys see in the left side, right, there are one option called webhook setup, right? You guys see, so webhook setup is open, right? So go to the bottom, and if you go to the bottom, right, there are two options. One is sample app endpoint using glitch, and second one is sample app endpoint using Heroku, right? But make sure in order to get the documentation, correct documentation, you have to click the second one, sample app endpoints using Heroku. I just hit this one. So after I come to this documentation, you have to click the getting started, right? So this is the official documentation, and here they are mentioning all the things and all the parameters, right? That's why I guide you guys. So anyhow, I will give the link into the bottom of the description, right? So that's fine. So now we are going to create one get request, right, for the webhook, right? So this is a request we are going to create in the Node.js. So now I'm going to the code. I'm calling this app, right? So app.get. So this is our path, right? Webhook. After webhook, I put a comma. I'm going to create one function. The function have two parameters, right? One is request, another one is the response. So here I am going to extract the parameters, right? So here request, I put a request dot query, and after that I am going to get the hub dot mode, right? That is from the this one, right? Hub dot mode. I just copy this one, I paste it here, and request query the second one, right? What's the second one? Hub dot challenge, right? Hub dot verify token. I just copy this one and paste it here. Okay, that's fine. So now I'm going to store into the variable. So this one is a hub dot mode, right? So I'm going to serve as mode. That's fine. And second one is a challenge, right? So this one, let so third one. So now I'm going to the documentation again, and here they have mentioned, right, this value always be set to subscribe, right? Then this will return and thing, and here we have to provide the token, right? So these are the information they are providing, right? So what we have to do is, first we will going to check the request having the mode and token, right? So in order to check the request and mode, I just put a if condition, the request having these parameters, right, mode and token. Then I have to check the mode is this one, right, the subscribe, and the verify token is our customized token, right? So the customized token, in the sense, I'm going to explain you guys, right? I'm going to create one variable const my token, right? So as of now I'm going to keep as empty string. So I'm going to take this my token and put it here, right? So after that, what I am going to do is, I just open and close the curly braces, and here I am going to send the response, right? So in order to send the response, I have to use this response parameter, right? So response dot, right, status. The status is 200, right? So if this is success, which means the mode and token is correct. So this is, I have to return this is a correct success code, right? So 200, and after that I have to send the data, send, right? So I am going to send this challenge, right? So whatever you want, you can put it here, right? But here I want to send the challenge, right? And after that I am going to type the else part. In the else part, right, so I am going to send, I copy this one, right, and put it here, and here I am going to set the response and delete the other thing, and I'm going to send the response as forbidden, right? Forbidden means 403, right? That's fine, right? Everything is fine. So now I'm going to the dashboard. So this is the current dashboard. So you guys see, right? So in the dashboard, if you go to the bottom, you guys see in the step 3, configure the webhook to the receive messages, right? Create a custom webhook URL or using service that help you to set an endpoint, right? So here, what I have to do is, I just can click this link, or I just can click here to go to that configure webhooks, right? So I just click this one. So you guys see I'm coming to the configuration. I just click edit in the right top. Here we have to type one callback URL, and after that we have to type the verify token, right? So what will happen here is, right, so after we host this application into the cloud, then we have to get that URL, right, and we have to paste the URL here, and here we have to type one token, right? This token is the my token, right? So what will going to happen here is, right, so after we type here, and after that we will click the verify and serve, that will come here, right? This is a get request, and here it will check these parameters and check the verify token, right? For example, here I am giving like Prasad, it's my name, right? So here also I am giving the Prasad, right? So it will check, right? From this cloud URL, this will come here and check and returning this status, right? So if this is successful, then it will configure it. So here I am going to type one comment here. I am going to create one post request, right? So here I created a get request. So now I am going to create a post request. So why I am going to create a post request? For example, if the user send any of the messages I'm going to reply to the user. For that case, I'm going to create one post request. So after it's completed, if you see the use cases, you will get to understand why I create this post request, right? So now I'm going to create post request app.post, and here as usual I'm going to create the callback URL. So same here, right? So webhook, this is a URL, so that's fine. After that I put a comma and create one function with two parameters. One is request, another one is response, right? Request and the response. And after that I arrange this one. So I'm going to get the response into the one parameter, right? So I'm going to type let body, right? So after I click this one, request dot body, right? That's fine. So you may guys confuse, right? Because here also body and here also body, right? So I just type body underscore param, right? Param. That's then it will give a good understanding you guys, right? So if you are beginner, then you will struggle, right? That's always happens, right? So because we want to spend some time to understand, right? So when I also facing a lot of issue to create this video, right? So everything is a practice. Don't think everything is complicated. Everything will be good in one day, but the thing is you have to practice, right? That's the only one thing in programming, right? So here I'm going to get the log message, right? So I'm type console log, and here I'm calling the JSON, and after that I'm calling the stringify, right? So I want to stringify the JSON, right? So here I'm calling this body params, right? I paste it here and put a comma, right? So if you go to the stringify, you will get understanding, right? The value, replacer and space, right? If you don't know what is it, please read it, right? So actually this is a value, right? For the value we pass this one, right? Body param is the one which is getting from the request, right? After that you guys see everything is documented, right? So I mean the why we want to use a replacer, right? The array of string, the numbers act as, right? So you guys see everything is documented, right? So you will get a clear understanding if you read the documentation. And secondly I'm going to pass the null and I'm going to give a 2, right? That's fine. So here I'm getting the response and print it in the console, right? That's all. And now what I'm going to do is I have to check the body param, right? Body param is the one which you are getting from the request, right? So for that case what you have to do is I just go to the Google and the documentation, this one. You guys see this is a payload example, right? For the text message, right? Text message payload example. So one payload example, you guys see this is a one object, right? So this is a one object. So in this object having two keys, right? Object and the entry, right? So we have to validate these things, right, into the cloud side, right? I mean our NodeJS project side, right? So I'm going to that project again, and here I'm going to type if, and I type body params, and here I am checking this is contain object. If it contains object, right, then I type again the if condition and I am checking the entries, right? So bodies params, and here you guys see entry object, right? So whatever, it's fine. So entry, right? That's fine. And after that body dot entry, after that the end condition, and again taking this one body param entry, I copy this one and paste it here, and after that I'm going to see body and changes. So if you wish you can change the ID as well, but I'm going to follow the same structure which they provide in the documentation, right? So changes, right? So that's one. So I'm create one array. Actually why I'm creating one array here, because entry is array, right? Entry is array. So I'm taking the 0th element, right? So that case I am passing the 0 here, right? So after I passing the 0, and you guys see, right? You guys see the changes, right? So I type changes. So as in the documentation, I am going to arrange this one, guys, for the understanding purpose. So here what we are going to do is we have to extract the value from the request, right? If the user send the request, we have to extract the values, right? So here we extract it and check it, right? It's containing any values. If it's correct, right, then we will get some additional value to send the messages. So you guys see this is a phone number ID we have to extract, and after that this is a receiver's phone number, right? So just go here and extract from the response. You guys see this is a response. From the response, what we had to do is we want to extract the phone number ID, this one, and the phone number, right? So phone number is from, this is a customer one and this is your one, right? That's all. So to extract this phone number ID, right? So phone number ID, first we have to go to this one, right? We have to go to this object, and after we go to the object, what we have to do is we have to go to the entry, and after that entry, right? So we have to go to the changes. We have to go to the values, and from the values we have to go to this metadata. From the metadata we have to go to this phone number ID, right? That's all, right? So now I'm going to type in the Node.js here. So you guys see I complete this one, right? So you guys see we are getting the request from the body and we are getting the entry, right? Request, this is a body, and we are getting the entry after the changes, and after that value, right? Value, after the value we are getting the metadata, and after that we are getting the display phone number and the phone number ID, right? So but here you guys see we are getting like this, right? Request dot body, right? So instead of using the request dot body, we can use the body param, right? I just copy this one. So now we are going to use one dependency that's called Axios, right? So if you go to this page, right? So promise based HTTP client for the browser and the Node.js, right? So here, so we can sending the request, right? So I'm going to install this one, right? To install this one, I'm going to that npm, right? So I just copy this one and I come here and I just close this server and I just hit enter and paste and hit enter. That is installed correctly, right? So you can see found 0 vulnerabilities, right? So that's fine. So I imported, so I am taking this Axios and here I paste it. So I'm going to the documentation for the Axios. Here I'm click this one and get request, right? View on GitHub. So if you go to the documentation, right, you can see Axios API, right? So here we are going to use this API, and this is a post request, right? So in order to send the post request, we had to mention the request, and after that we have to mention the URL, and after that we have to type the data. For in this case, you guys see the method is a post request, that's fine, right? The URL is a, and this is a URL, right? So we will going to send. So this is a URL, right? So after that the data, right? So data is object manner, right? So why is object manner? If you go to the postman, right? So this is object manner, right? The data, and that's fine. So now I am going to type the method method, and that's a post method. So this is not a case sensitive, right? So typing this one, so you can use capital or small letters, that's fine, I guess, right? And the URL, so here I just copy the initial one, I just copy this one and paste it here, right? So after this one I put the slash, right? So I just put plus here, and here we have to pass the phone number ID. So the phone number ID is the one which we getting from here, right? I just copy this one, right? So I just paste it here. So after the phone number ID, right? So as usual we have to pass the token, right? So messages and this token, right? So that case what I'm going to do is I'm going to type, right? So message, right? And message, that's fine. And after that, and the access token, access token equal So here I want to pass the token, right, to send the request. So for this I just create one token, right? So here I just create one variable const token and put an empty string here, right? So I just token copy this one. This is not a this token, right? This is not a my token, right? This is a different one, right? This is a different one token, and here I am pasting the token here, right? So after I paste the token, I put a comma here, and after that I have to, what I am going to do is I just hit enter, right? So after that I want to pass the data. Why I want to pass the data? If you go to the documentation, I have to pass the data, right? So here messaging product, right, and to, right, and the text. That's all. So if you wish, you can add the other parameter as well, but so here I am going to keep the minimal changes here. This is from, right? So I just type the from and put a comma here, and after that the text, right? So in this type text. So that's all for the body, and I put a comma. So now I am going to add the header, because you guys see in the here we had to put the headers, right, for the content type application JSON, right? So headers, and that's all guys, right? So this is fine. And after this request, right, so which means after I check this request, right, from here to here, after ending this Axios, right, so curly braces, I'm going to send the response to the user, right? So res dot send status. So the status is 200, right? 200 is a success code, and I put a semicolon and end it here. So if is it not, I mean, if is it not matching with these parameters, right? So I have to tell this is from different API, right? So not from the WhatsApp API, right? So that case response dot status code, right? Send status. So here I want to type 404, so which is mean, right, return 404 not found, right? If the event is not from the WhatsApp API, we can pass 404, and that's fine. I put it here. And another thing I want to tell you guys, right, so you guys see as of now we haven't get the token here, right? So no token here, no token here, right? Cut this one and put under this one, right? So this token for sending the request, and this token for verify the webhook, right? So keeping the credential in the code, that's not a good thing, that's not a good practice. So we have to create one environmental variables and store it there, right? So that's a good practice. So that case what I'm going to do is there are one package called .env, right? So if you search .env, right, NodeJS, you can see this package, right? So I just copy this one, I just copy this package and paste it here. That is installed. So now what I am going to do is I just click this one, new file, and type .env, right? So if I hit enter, you can see the env file is created, right? So now I am going to here and I take this token, right, and put it here, token equal, right? Then after that my token, right, I copy this one and paste it here and put a equal, right? So here the token, right? So what I'm going to do is I have to import this environmental to index.js file, right? So in order to import that one, what I'm going to do is I copy this one and paste it here. Now it's fine. .env and config, right? So now what I'm going to do is I just type process env dot then that parameter, right, for token. I just copy this one. So better if you keep this one as capital letter, right? Token, right? That's fine. And after that, this is to my token, right? So my token, that's fine. I just copy this one. Now it's fine, right? So token and my token. So you guys see almost is completed, but I made some mistakes, so I'm going to correct the mistake now. So as of now, we are using a localhost port number 8000 to check the request, right? So if you host up application, then we have to get that specific port number, right? For that case, so we have to type like this: process env and then the port, right? So and if you go to the bottom, right? So you guys see I'm getting the phone number ID from the changes, but here I made a mistake. This is not a challenge, this is a changes, right? So like this, right? Changes, right? That's all. And another thing, if you go to the postman, so we have to use the /messages, right? Messages, right? But here I just type the message, right? So for that case I have to type s messages, and that's all, right? So you may guys wondering, so I am only typing the object for the sending the reply message, right? So if you want to send other messages, right, so I'm going to tell the easiest way, right? So if you click this one, right, so this is for sending a reply button, right? So I expand this one and I just click the body, and here this is for sending the button to the user, right? So if you don't know how to get this into your code, right, so what you have to do is you can see the postman in the right side there are option code, right? So just click that code, and after you click that code you have to choose your language, right? So in case if you work with the PHP, you can use the PHP, right? But here I am working with the Node.js Axios, right? So I just click this one, and after you click this one, that will show the format, right? So you can see bar data, then stringify, and that format, right? Then you can use this one to your code, right? And that's all, guys. And another thing, if you don't know how to get the postman collection, so I made a video here. So if you go here, you can see WhatsApp Cloud API. So in this video, I explain how you can get the postman collection into your postman, right? So that is how I get the collection from the WhatsApp Cloud API, right? From the next video, I'm going to host this webhook into the cloud, and then we will start doing the testing. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe my channel. So this is the only help I am requesting you guys. And thank you so much.